There is only one of you, only one of me. There's a million of those who won't let us be. But they're not gonna see me bleed. Cause baby, I got you. I've been beaten to the ground, dragged across the dirt. I've been scared to live cause some people never learn. But they're not gonna watch me burn. Cause baby, I got you. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try but they can never take me down. Ooh, cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid.
Hi friends, it's Nicola back in the Stitches and Slapdashery sewing room. Command Central. I'm having a half pyjama day today. The bottom half is pyjamas, the top half is kind of dressed. I did shower. Didn't put a bra on though. I know you wanted to know that. So what am I doing? I'm actually looking ahead a little bit. Now that I've done Vlogtober and I had a lot of fun with that, I thought I might plan ahead and think about what I'm going to do for Vlogmas. I think I'll probably aim to do something every day for the whole month. I know a lot of people just go up to Christmas Day. And I'll see how it goes. I'm not going to, be hard and fast about it, but it'd be kind of nice to do everything all the way up to New Year's Eve. So I've been making a little list of some of the things I want to do. Like I need to work on my festoon shawl because I know if I don't have a specific plan for that, it might languish in a bag. And I'll want to do my little Christmas cross stitch that I bought a little while ago. We are going on holiday for a week in the first week of December. We're staying at an Airbnb in a location in BC, yet to be revealed. So that'll be fun because there'll be Christmas lights to see and there'll be some new walks and some new views and a yarn shop or three, hopefully, to tour around. And so that'll be a bit more interesting than always being in the same location, won't it? I really would like to add a few more ornaments to my tree this year. Over the years, I've been trying to, I know this word is a little overused, but to curate my tree ornaments a little bit and keep the ones that look a little bit more classy and a little bit less tacky. But having said that, it would be kind of fun to knit or crochet some little ugly sweater ornaments or something like that. And I'll think about that over the course of the next few weeks. I always do traditional baking. I grew up with mince pies, and minced meat is something I make every year. In fact, I'm going to have to do this probably next week because it sits in the fridge for about 6 weeks before I use it. I like to make my own. It's fat-free, it's fresh, it's tasty. I know what's gone into it and I really enjoy it. I don't make Christmas cakes ahead of time. A lot of people like to make their Christmas cake early and they drizzle a whole bunch of alcohol on it. Well, I don't do the alcohol. So what I do is I make my Christmas cake closer to the actual day. I mean, it's just a fruit cake. I don't usually do much about decorating the top. Obviously in December, I'll talk about more of Christmas traditions and what I grew up with. But my mum used to do the whole fruit cake, marzipan, royal icing, cute little things on top, little silver balls that were edible but felt like they were going to break your teeth when you ate them. I usually just do fruit cake, and sometimes I will decorate it with fruit and nuts on the top and maybe brush it with apricot jam. And I usually make more than one because once I make one, it goes really quickly, and then I usually make a couple more. We don't just have it on the day. We have it, like, Christmas is not really a huge deal for us. It's more about the whole darkest time of the year. And for a long time, we didn't actually celebrate Christmas. It was more solstice. And so we would celebrate the darkest time of the year and the fact we were lighting that up with our fairy lights and have more sort of pagan traditions sometimes. Let's face it, a tree is probably the most pagan tradition there is, and just about everybody does that. So yeah, it's more of a period than a one big day. We don't have other family who live nearby, so it's just the five of us normally. And so sometimes you do have to make a bit of an effort, otherwise it feels like just any other day, and then you're like, oh, that was an anticlimax, wasn't it? So I do try and make the effort, but we'll see how it works out this year. What I just did just now, you can probably see my big pile of DK yarn behind me. I just weighed it all. Most of this is Stylecraft Special DK. There is some Lion Brand Mandala in there. There's also possibly some Deramores Studio DK, way back when I ordered from Deramores. I haven't done that in years. I think that's it. And as you can see, I have caked up similar colours together, which may or may not have been a good idea, because every time I think about using this stuff, I overthink it and end up not using it. So when I weighed it, I found out I had about 3 kilos of this stuff. That is over 3,000 grams. Over 3,000 grams of it. That's the equivalent of 30 100-gram balls. That's a lot. I could make something big with that. I worked out the meterage and the yardage. The meterage is 88.20 and the yardage is 96.45. That's a lot of yarn. And it bugs me that it's been sitting in the stash so long. So I think I need to come up with a project for it. And it needs to be not just using it one-stranded, it needs to be using it multi-stranded, because I want to use it up fairly quickly. Now, I haven't made a blanket for a really long time, so I think it might be a blanket. I'll have to figure out whether it's going to be knitted or crocheted, and whether there's going to be any sort of pattern to it, and if it's just going to be one big project or lots of bits that I make separately and join together. I do need to use it. What would you make if you had the equivalent of 30 100-gram balls of yarn and you could make anything? What would you make? Maybe I should crochet a yarn bombing cozy for a tree. No, I'm just kidding. That was just something that just popped into my head. But no, I'm not going to do that. I think Stephen West has something called a garter squish blanket, which he uses 5 strands of yarn for. And then when one yarn runs out, you just basically add a different one. And so the colors change gently throughout the blanket rather than being hard color changes. That would be fun. So I'm just thinking, I want to have a decision for this made by December 1st, because I feel like destashing this, not destashing it. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Converting this into a finished object could be my goal for this December. And there's something very satisfying about having a big yarny project on your lap in the winter, isn't there? Now, if I'm away, I won't be able to take it with me because we're flying. So I won't be able to take a ton of this unless I take a suitcase, and I'm considering a suitcase. I usually travel with just a backpack and a couple of changes of clothing, and I keep it really light. But I could actually take a suitcase. It's just one short flight, and it wouldn't be the end of the world to have to pick it up at the carousel at the other end, as long as it didn't get lost. Can't remember which airline we're using. Could be Air Canada or it could be WestJet. Not sure. Anyway, theoretically, I could take it with me if I could just take, say, 6 of these cakes in a suitcase, tucked in with my clothes and my knitting needles and crochet hooks. Because as you know, we are crafters, we always overpack as far as yarn is concerned. Yarn's the first thing we think about, right? What projects am I going to pack? And then think about, okay, what clothes am I going to take? What else do I need? Oh yeah, toothbrush, that'd be handy. Phone, charger, all that sort of thing. So I'm going to get my phone off the tripod there now, because now I want to go and have a little troll through Ravelry and see if I can get some inspiration. I'll look forward to seeing your comments and suggestions as to what you would make with all this yarn if it was sitting in your stash. Back again, out and about in my car today. I needed to buy some more skin product, and I thought I would also come and have myself a cup of tea. I had a raspberry matcha latte. Oh, so good. I added a little bit to the current project that I'm working on, and since yesterday I finished a sweater. Are you impressed? Don't be, because the sweater's only this big. It's a Christmas ornament or a tree ornament, and my plan is to have 5 different colored little sweaters, one for each member of our family, and put their initials on them so they look a little bit like a Harry Potter sweater. I know they're not going to be the official colors for the Harry Potter sweaters, like a Weasley sweater, what they call them, right? Not official colors, but I'm going with the scraps I have in my DK pile. Very cute. I'll have to look up again what the source of the pattern is, because I can't remember right now. But it'll be on the Ravelry project page that I've set up for it. I'm also wearing my purple poppy today. I don't wear red poppies, but I do wear purple poppy now and again when I remember to make one. I just threw this together out of some felt and a button last weekend when I was going out for lunch. Purple poppies, in case you're not aware, are for all the animals who have died during the World Wars, like the horses they used to use to tow cannons, and the dogs they used, and any other animals that were dragged into war by humans for humans' ridiculous purposes. I think you can tell what my opinion of that is. So that's why I wear a purple poppy around this time of year. And now I'm going to pop back home. I have another chiropractic appointment later. The neck is still a little sore on this side, but definitely better than it was. So whatever she did the other day must have done some good. And I'm going back for some more pummeling today. It's the weekend. Not feeling that great today. Bit of a sore throat, bit of a cough. I wore one of my handmade masks to go to Costco this morning with the family. Out of everybody in the store, I was the only one wearing a mask. But that's okay. I was wearing it to protect them. So nobody seemed to have a problem with it. It's nice that it's normalized now and that people feel like if you want to wear one, that's okay. So I've been sipping water like crazy, taking vitamin C and all that, and hoping I feel better by bedtime because, ever tried to sleep when you've got a cough? No fun. All right, what have I got to tell you about today? I finished this. I didn't know what it was going to be when I started it. This is my walking crochet project. I just started making a circle, not really knowing what it was going to be. Just single crochet. And then when I changed to the size, I did that split single crochet or waistcoat stitch. What I like about this is it's quite sturdy. And so for the walls of a basket or whatever that you want to stand up by itself, it's fantastic. Just means that the base feels softer than the sides, but it doesn't matter. And when I finished off the last couple of rounds, I added a little hanging loop. If I decide to keep this for myself, I can just hang it from my pegboard with something in it, or fill it with whatever takes my fancy. I was working on it at my knit night the other night, and one of my friends said they loved all the colours in the yarn. So maybe I should just hang on to this one and give it to her with some other stuff in it for Christmas. We'll see. So another thing I wanted to play with today, because, I don't have enough projects on the go right now. I've got the little ornament sweater project bag set up. I've got my festoon shawl project bag set up. But I wanted to make a wallet, and I did a lot of searching around on YouTube for a good wallet for a man. One of my kids, he has for years just used a little tiny zipper pouch to keep his cards and his change in. And the zip went on it finally the other day. And knowing him, he will probably procrastinate about getting a new wallet. So I made him one. I used some denim. Here's a bit of it. It's not a very heavyweight denim, but it is new. It's not from a pair of jeans, but it was a piece I got from the fabric store where I worked for cheap because it was a remnant. I think there was a flaw in it. And I've used also some of this twill. It's a light twill, not too heavy. Wouldn't have used turquoise as my first choice, but that's what I had. And I didn't want to make it all in denim because then it would have been really thick to sew through. But I didn't want to use quilting cotton either. I didn't really have any manly quilting cotton. So this is what it looks like. It's from a tutorial by Ire Heart Crafting, and she is in Canada. She does a lot of upcycled denim projects. And so rather than use floral fabric where she used floral fabric, I used denim on the outside, the same as her. I used denim on the inside of there. I used denim to back the card slot pockets, and then I used the twill for the card slot pockets. Hard to say that, card slot pockets. It's a little wonky. It's a little bulky in places. After she closes off the turning gap at the top, she top stitches around the whole thing, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. It's too thick to do that. I used a Schmetz 9014 needle. I do like my Schmetz needles. And I used this heavy duty coats thread. It's S950 is the code of the type of thread it is. Colour 4550, and I thought that was a good sort of denim-y colour, even though it was a little bit light. Oh, I just knocked you. I just knocked my tripod, sorry. So the first couple of seams were a little dodgy because of the thicker thread. The top looked okay, but the back looked like the tension was too loose on the top thread because you could see the bumps along the back where the thread had been pulled through all the way along. So I did tighten my top tension a couple of times, and then it looked all right after that. But it's not like he's going to be looking at it that closely. And of course, I put some money in. There's a superstition or a tradition somewhere, isn't there, that if you give someone a wallet or a purse, that you're supposed to put some money in it. I believe so. So I put $5 in there. So that's it. It doesn't have any sort of fastening. But for a guy's wallet that's probably just going to be stuffed in a back pocket, it'll work. And I won't be upset if he doesn't use it, but he'll have the choice to use it if he wants to. I'll give it to him afterwards. Did you notice I did my hair again? I didn't bleach it first. I just put the semi-permanent hair color on. And it will stick more to the parts, the ends, where I did bleach them earlier in the year. And then where it's sticking currently to my unbleached hair, it'll wash out quicker. So I'll end up with a sort of faded look after a few washes, but it's a little bit brighter for now. Been a few days since my last upload, so I'm going to get this one fully edited and sent on up to the YouTubes. You may have noticed a new intro at the beginning of this video, and there's a new outro as well. I had a little play in Canva. I've only got the free version of it because the full version's pretty expensive. But every now and again, I like to go and mess around in there, create things. I'm going to wind up this video here. There's a few days worth of stuff for you to watch. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you again soon.